Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to our panel for joining us. Appreciate that you're here with a diversity of views on this issue. I want to begin, Dr. Rogers, if I might. 2 weeks, 2 massacres. My heart goes out to those who died and those who lost loved ones last night in Boulder. We're still reeling in Georgia after the attacks on 3 Asian-owned small businesses took 8 lives last week. And there's also a broader increase in violence across our society over the last year in particular. 2 weekends within the last month, Atlanta, Georgia, saw more than 12 shot each weekend. With your experience, Dr. Rogers, could you reflect, please, for the benefit of the committee on what is driving this broader increase in violence? And what do you assess to be the causes of our nearly uniquely American problem of repeated massacres and spree shootings?
Thank you, Senator Ossoff. In my opinion, the almost 50% increase that we've seen in Chicago and so many cities across this country of shootings is related to the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic and the impact it's had economically, socially, and economically on so many distressed communities. And in many ways, intentional gun violence is a symptom of a larger problem in our society. The ready availability of guns puts people at risk, but unfortunately, disproportionately, those communities that are at risk are communities of color. And we aren't really addressing the upstream factors that lead to this unfortunate, as Senator Booker said, slaughter. And the slaughter of Americans, of mostly Black and brown Americans in this country, has gone on for decades. Tackling that problem is really what we should be focusing on. I think, unfortunately, we don't address the root causes of gun violence, and we see this time and time again. We'll have another hearing in another year or another decade if we don't do some action now to address the problem fundamentally. What I see every day is the incredible painful impact on families, on healthcare staff who share the burden with their families of gun violence. And that does not even include the economic impact of lost productivity, the lost human capital, or even the fact that we're not realizing the best of all Americans. And so I really implore the Senate Judiciary Committee to look at constructive ways to address the upstream factors that lead to gun violence in the first place, and also address targeted programs and fund targeted programs that can actually impact secondary gun violence related to recidivism.
Thank you, Dr. Rogers.